Hey everybody, I'm Buco. For English speaking people, it looks like Buko, but it's my childhood nickname from Bosnia. It kind of means when you have a kid that's got a chubby cheek, then the adults, parents, grandparents would go like, Buco. That's where that comes from. And then Buzzolini, a friend of mine added Buzzolini to it just as kind of endearing thing. So the reason my channel is called Buco Buzzolini is for a while Google kept pestering me to give them my real name when they were changing from YouTube usernames into the new format. They kept popping these messages, hey, give us your real name, everything, it's gonna be great, you're gonna love it, it's gonna be so much better. My YouTube username used to be something like 20 watt tube, something like that. I have a 20 watt Hughes and Kettner combo amp, which sits in that corner, not used very much these days, but amazing amp, I love it. And when Google kept sending me these messages, eventually I said, okay, my name is Buco, which is really what majority of people knows me as. I even get mail. I get letters mailed to Buco and still gets to me somehow. I guess even the post office caught up with it. So I gave Google Buco Buzzolini. That's how that ended up being my internet alias. So anyway, that was my little introduction. The video that I wanted to make is about my 2-minute practice strategy. Not mine, something that I use, something that I've been using for several years now. And I wanted to spread gospel that these micro practices are actually useful and that people should use them more, because I've met so many people in my life as a musician that would say, oh, I always wanted to learn how to play this and that, I never have time. So that was my problem for a while. When I was younger, of course I had more time. I didn't have practice habits, but I played a lot. I would play in a band, we would party. Growing up where I was growing up in Bosnia, Sarajevo, parties were constant, and the way we partied, it was always with the guitar. 99% of the time it was with the guitar, and we would sing, play guitars and sing. A lot of singing was happening all the time, and I actually didn't realize until kind of recently how much of a better musician that really made me. I took it for granted back then, but I think that's one thing that probably taught me about groove and time the most, just being able to play with people, because playing with a group of people, you have to be able to keep time. Back then I took it for granted. Now I realize that really was a university, small university in itself. So anyway, back then I played a lot, whether it being during one of these parties or band practices, and then at home I would usually learn songs or play through our band tunes. Really, I was doing very little sort of like what's considered conventional practice. In any case, I didn't I had zero practice habits. Like I said, that served me well when I was younger. When I sort of became full-blown adult, working day job, 40 plus hours a week, this and that, I had much less time, and without established practice habits, I would rarely ever play, which was bumming me out because guitar and music was part of my life since I think I started playing guitar when I was 12. Pretty sure it was 12. It was during my, it happened during my birthday party. The same friend that nicknamed me, that added Buzzolini to my original nickname, which the original nickname Buzza came from another kid from our neighborhood. So the friend that added Buzzolini to my nickname, he came to my birthday. Pretty sure it's my 12th birthday, and he was at my door and he said, "Hey man, can I come to the party? But I don't have any gift." So I said, "Yeah man, come in. How about can you?" I knew he was playing guitar at the time. He started playing guitar. So I said, "Well, how about you teach me something?" And that evening he taught me this rock and roll riff. Actually, this is what he taught me. Wait. That was it. This is what he taught me. That was it. And it just it bit me like it was like something bit me. It was like a drug. I mean, adrenaline, shot of adrenaline got me, and that was it. That from that point on, that's really all I wanted to do. But then again, for one reason or another, I never really established like firm practice routine, even though at the beginning that's really all I wanted to do. I was playing a lot all the time, as much as I could. I didn't have my own guitar at the time, so I actually borrowed his guitar a lot until my mom finally agreed that yeah, this is something that she probably won't be wasting money on, and got me my first guitar. And that was my beginning. Started getting into bands, and like I said, played a lot when I was younger. Then I got to a point where, as an adult, working 40 plus hour full-time job, there would be days, weeks, maybe even a whole month without me picking up the guitar. And like I mentioned, that was bumming me because guitar was really part of my life. It really defined me. That's kind of the first thing in my life that I felt, yeah, this is something I can really do. And so it was part of me. So about 2000, I think it was 2013, where I made a New Year's resolution to practice 1 hour each day. Well, you know how that went. Didn't last long. So out of sheer frustration with myself, I said, well, to hell with this. If I don't have time, I have 2 minutes. Everybody has 2 minutes on their hand every day. So I said, I'm going to practice 2 minutes every day. And that actually stuck. I spent the rest of that year, if I thought I didn't have time, which sometimes you really don't have time. You come late from work, you have dinner, you have talk with your family, and it's kind of like already time to get into PJs and go to bed. So you really don't have time for longer practice. But in that case, if that was the case, I would just grab the guitar, put 2 minute timer on before I go to bed, before I go to sleep, put 2 minute timer on, and do something for 2 minutes and go to sleep. And I did that for the rest of the year, and I've continued doing it. Now, after a while, I started realizing, well, first thing, it fixed kind of my being depressed about leaving that much time between when I would pick up the guitar and play, because I started picking up guitar every day, and and it really it fixed my feeling bad about myself. And another thing that started sort of like developing, I realized if I make a micro goal for myself, then I actually spend 2 minutes practicing. So some of the things that made it into an actual practice is just I had a after a while I developed the list of things that I kept handy that I could practice. I remember on that list there was this chord change. This is a C major, C major 6/9 chord. So going from major to this minor 6 was a challenge for me in the beginning. So I would spend 2 minutes just going from this voicing to this voicing. In the beginning, I had to go really slow, like slow and deliberate. Play a chord, then go to this chord, then go back, then do it again. And if you make a micro goal, if you turn it into a micro practice, it actually ends up being real practice, because in 2 minutes, 120 seconds, what does it take? Let's say it takes a couple of seconds per change. So in 2 minutes, I can easily do 60 repetitions. That's an actual practice. That's not just you picked up the guitar to make yourself feel better. That's an actual practice. Because if nothing else, you've ended the day by being able to play a certain chord change better than yesterday. And that's kind of the main goal. Every day, better yourself at least a tiny bit. So that's one thing I realized, and then eventually I turned it into my daily practice, almost daily practice. I would use 2 minute timer. I actually made it into, eventually I put it to 2 minute 10 seconds to just sort of like give myself time to, grab a pick, start the timer, and then start whatever practice I was doing. So that's what I wanted to start with. I'm gonna make a series of videos talking about this thing, my 2 minute practice drill, because I want to spread the gospel. I've been doing this for several years now, and it's really helped me. It made me a lot better musician, and I'm gonna talk about certain aspects that I've noticed, the positive things that I found in using specifically, not only playing for 2 minutes, but specifically using the timer. Timer is the key, and I'm going to talk about that. I've been meaning to make these series of videos for like a couple of years now. I think at least 3-4 years I've been planning to do this. So that's what I'm going to do. If anybody is watching this, thank you for watching, and keep an eye for the next one. All right, take care.